Welcome to Pilates, everyone. Hey, Henry, thanks for joining us. I can see you walk into the room. So for this class, you'll need your mats. If you're new to Pilates, welcome. This is a type of format that focuses on core musculature. So we are going to be doing a lot of abdominal work, but core muscles aren't just abs. They're also any muscle that attaches to your spine, your entire spine, and your pelvis. So working on glutes, inner outer thighs, hip flexors, and of course our spine muscles. If you'd like to play music at your place, feel free to play some music. I will not be playing music here so that I can cue loud and clearly. All right, one very important thing about Pilates is breathing. So throughout this 50-minute class, 5-0, we're gonna be inhaling in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth, like that, throughout. Okay, so go ahead and find a nice comfortable seated position with your feet hip distance apart, knees bent. If you'd like to be a little more relaxed right now, feel free. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. So the exhalation is through pursed lips. You will hear yourself exhale, and the idea behind this forceful exhalation is that it recruits your abdominal muscles. So if we bring more awareness into our body as we breathe. Inhale, lift the chest, feel the rib cage expand. Exhale, draw the abs in, like you're crunching. Little spine curve there, but not too much. Inhale. Now I'm sitting in this position so that you can see my entire body, but I recommend putting your device like near your feet so that you can stare more straight ahead. Whatever doesn't strain your neck. Good. Let's take one more breath in, sitting nice and tall. Exhale, draw your belly in. Slowly roll down. Good, continuing to breathe. Inhale, rib cage expands. Chest rises, exhale, abdominals flatten. Inhale. And exhale. Your spine may default to an imprint. Some people naturally do that. But usually your neutral spine, it allows for a small space under your lower back. So just a very little space. I can slide my hands in there. But we are going to be imprinted for most of today's class. So that's drawing the ab down and in, tilting your pelvis back so your tailbone's off the floor. And there is no space under your lower back. Inhale, come to neutral. Tailbone on the floor. Exhale, imprints. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, imprints. So we're going to hold on to this imprints. That means your tailbone's off the ground, your lower back. Doesn't need to be jammed in the mat, but it needs to be pretty securely there. You're going to lift one leg to tabletop and then the other. Tabletop is shins parallel to the floor, thighs vertical, knees right over the hips. Keeping the knees at 90 degrees, tap it out. So I'd say if you're new to Pilates, gently press into the floor as you reach the toe towards the floor to help with your imprint. That's what the challenge is here. Moving the limbs, maintaining imprint. Exhale to lower, nice and slowly, just one leg. Inhale to lift. If you've been taking Pilates with me for a while, you want a little more challenge, you can take those arms off the mats. You don't want to reach it up there. You don't want to have a protracted shoulder blades. You want to keep your shoulder blades in neutral. If you're not sure about whether your shoulder blades are neutral, you can jam your shoulder blades down to the mat, reach it all the way up, and then just kind of find something in between. So you might feel a little more abdominal recruitment when your arms are off the mats. Good, last time. And we're going to lower both legs now. So at this time, if you want to take your hands back to the mats, you can. You can also lower halfway down, especially if you feel your lower back lifts off the mats. And then if you want, again, that challenge, a couple options here. You can keep your arm right over the shoulder. You can bring it towards the ears. But you don't want to disturb this rib cage and you don't want to arch the back. So you might have heard the term sometimes pop in the rib cage. Pop in the rib cage is arching the back, losing the imprint, and having the rib cage sort of pop out. So if you were going to do and add arms, you really want to keep everything still from your hips to your shoulders. Only thing that's moving are your thigh bones in your hip socket joint and your arms in the shoulder joint. Last one. Bring those hands back down to the floor and feet come all the way to the floor. All right, you don't want your legs too far out, but you don't want it, again, jammed into your butt. So a pretty comfortable position is maybe about 6 feet away, 6 inches away from your butt. I usually cannot reach my fingers to my heels. So if you can touch your heels, it's definitely too close. We're rolling up into our shoulder bridge. So lifting one vertebra at a time. Lift the tailbone, roll it up, reach those knees away from the shoulders, squeeze the butt, squeeze the abs. See, muscles work from both sides to stabilize the pelvis and the spine in neutral. Inhale, exhale, roll up. It's like your vertebrae are links on a chain, and you just place it down one vertebra at a time or one link at a time. Inhale and exhale. One more time. A straight line is through joints, shoulders, hips, knees. So we're not talking about the butt, the hips. Good. Place your hands on your thighs for ab prep. Ab prep is contraction of the abdominals to lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, nod the chin, look toward your knees. Exhale, as you curl the head, neck, and shoulders up, because your arms are attached to your shoulders and torso, they'll slide up toward the knees. So we're not actively throwing the arms, we're just allowing it to passively move because it's connected with our torso. Inhale, nod. Exhale. Use those abs to lift the head, neck, and shoulder blades off the ground. Eye gaze on your knees, hands slide toward the knees. Inhale at the bottom, exhale. Inhale, hold. There's work here. You gotta hold it up, hold those shoulder blades up, and not let it lower until now. One more time. We're gonna play around with these limbs for a little bit. So we are working with our body weights. So the only thing we have as resistance or extra weight are our limbs, our legs, or our arms. So crunch up with me. Inhale, exhale, crunch. Now hold still. Don't let those shoulder blades down. Bring those arms behind the head. Feel how much extra work your abs have to do to not let the shoulder blades down. Bring those arms forward again, and then finally lower. So the only thing that changes is arm position, but the abs felt more work. Well, the abs should feel more work if your shoulder blades didn't go down. Inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, arms behind the head, hold those shoulder blades nice and high, exhale, reach forward, inhale, come back down, exhale, come on up, inhale, support the neck, exhale, inhale down, one more time, last one. If I ever say last one and you don't feel like doing it, it's fine, don't do it. You do whatever you like. We're doing hundreds. Hundreds is pumping of the arms with our head, neck, and shoulders lifted. So I finally decided to time hundreds, and it takes about 40, 45 seconds. At least that's the way I count. So we're gonna be up for 45 seconds. Legs can be at tabletop, knees and feet together. You can have your legs straight. You can have your legs on the diagonal. You can switch your legs between bent, diagonal, or bent and straight. So many options. Today I'm going to be switching every 5 counts. Every 10 counts. 10 counts here, 10 counts here. Okay? But you can hold your legs still the whole time. Nod the chin, lift the head, neck, shoulders, and start to pump those arms. Reach. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, chest straighten, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 20, inhale, and exhale, 30, inhale, and exhale, 40, inhale, exhale, 50, inhale, exhale, 60, stay imprinted, keep reaching those arms, exhale, whoops, what am I saying? Inhale, exhale, 80, inhale, exhale, 90. It's like I want to say all these cues, but then I mess up on the counting. That's it. That was 10, I think. I mean, that was 100, I think. Not sure? Okay, we'll do an extra 10. All right. Flip them over. When in doubt, do 10 more. Is that the logo? I mean, not the logo. Is that the motto? Okay, we're going to warm up the spine. Forearms on the ground. Forearms are fingertips to elbows. A lot of times I see elbows flaring up, so just try to keep those elbows down. Inhale, lift the chest, chin stays slightly tucked, head and neck aligned with the spine. This is not alignment here. Jam down is not alignment either, okay? You want to have space for like a small line under your chest. Tops of the feet will stay on the mat, about hip or shoulder distance apart. As I inhale, I'm gently pressing into those forearms. Exhale, I lower with control. The muscles around my spinal column are the ones contracting to lift the chest. Good. If you don't need your forearms to assist, then take your arms down towards the toes and reach open. Good. So as I'm opening up the chest, my shoulder blades squeeze towards each other. If you'd like, you can take your shoulders to the extreme here. So here, I really bring my shoulders down and I feel separation of the shoulder blades. And then as I lift, I bring the shoulder blades into neutral, and then I bring them into retraction. So they're really, really close to the spine. Okay, and then once again, come to neutral, down to protraction. And I'm talking into the floor here, but basically, this is neutral, right? When my shoulders are off the ground, and now the front of my shoulders are on the mat. So feel free to try to take your shoulder blades, your scapula, through the entire range of motion. Last one. And down. Take your hands underneath the shoulders, push yourself up and stretch. This is a shell stretch. You want to have a curve in your spine. Imagine like you're rolling over a beach ball on your thighs. Did everyone make it? Wow. 100% attendance. Yay! Okay. Onto your butts. We are going to do half roll back. This is it. We're gonna roll halfway back. If we were to roll all the way down, we would call it a roll because the spine is curved. Exhale. We're gonna do quite a lot of things in this position today for fun. Everything is for fun, but with a purpose. So exhale, halfway back. Feel the ab work. Shoulders stay down and relax away from the ears. You can try to lengthen as much as you want, or just a partial lengthening. We're trying to keep our toes and feet heavy on the mat. So you don't want to go so far back that your feet pop off the mat. Now, we're going to, once again, move our limbs around. So this creates different challenges for the abs. I'm not going to rotate, so I'm not going to turn my body at all, but I am going to move one arm towards you guys. So to the side. Okay, no rotation though. Sometimes it's actually easier to rotate, so we're gonna try really hard to keep our shoulders squared to the front and just move one arm to the side. Now, try both arms. Like you're trying to describe something really, really long and big. That's what your arms would do. Just one arm. And you have the option to maintain, keep doing the single arm version. If you don't want to do the double arm version, which is more challenging, right? Because when both arms are back there. So we're going to do 2 double arms, so that those of you choosing to do single arms can do 2, right? 1 on each arm. And then those that have chosen to do double arms, it's double work. Okay. So we're going to go back, hold, lift the legs up. 1, 2. Both legs are up. Yep. From here, I'm grabbing my hamstrings. You got to keep a curve in your spine in order to roll like a ball. I'm going to roll just until my shoulder blades, and the moment I inhale to go back, I'm going to exhale as soon as my shoulder blades hit. Inhale, fall, curve, exhale, my shoulder blades hit, I crunch. So that same crunching motion that we were doing earlier when I did this crunch, it's the same muscle group. Okay? Inhale back, exhale forward. Now if you wanted to add like a kick here and a kick here, you might notice that you don't really feel your abs anymore. So we're doing our best to not move our legs. Here's another variation for you to try. Place your hands on your shins. If you pull your knees in and then shoot your legs back out, you might notice you don't feel your abs. So try this, isometric. Isometric is like arm wrestling, where both arms are pushing with equal force. Push your shins out into your hands and do your best to pull your arms into your shins. Now keep that constant pressure, shin and hands, shin and hands. Now roll back, crunch up. Did you feel it? Did you try it? Keep the constant pressure. Keep pushing those shins into the hands. Keep pulling the hands back. How'd that feel? Try it again. Inhale, exhale. Look what happens when I don't make it up. Oh, I just feel, I feel it so much in the abs. Inhale, exhale. Last version. Feel free to keep this version going. Leg straight, open leg rocker. You can rock back, bend, and straighten here. You can keep the leg straight. Inhale, exhale. You're not going past your shoulder blades. We're not hitting the head. Chin tucks. Inhale, exhale. Oh, I didn't make it up. All right, it's all about feeling that crunch. It's about control. Last time. Good, and now we can do our full roll down. So rolling down, full roll up here. Inhale, arms reach to the ceiling, nod the chin. Exhale, reach your arms forward, crunch up, same abdominal work. Stretch. Stretch the lower back, upper back, hamstrings. Inhale. Exhale, place your spine down, 1 vertebra at a time. That's your basic roll up. Your arms are forward. Grab behind your legs, bend your knees slightly if you need to. Assist yourself up. All good options. Once again, we're going to try arm variations. Inhale. Exhale. Move forward. Inhale, bring those hands to the forehead. Exhale, roll down. Keep those heels heavy on the mat. Inhale, reach those arms forward. If you want, you can keep your hands here. It just makes it harder on the way up. Inhale, hands come to the head. Exhale. Slowly control, roll down. Last one here. Again, if you want to try this, you can put your hands on your forehead and just try to do that. Inhale. Your hand over your head. Exhale. Single leg stretch. We're going to actually keep one leg on the ground for a little bit of variation. So I have my front leg lifted. Doesn't matter if it's right or left. We're going to do both sides anyways. So I have my back leg bent. My front leg is lifted.
I'm going to try to keep my leg as straight as possible. And you can, of course, always lift with the bend knee, but you probably might not feel it as much because we have one leg on the ground. So hands down, lower, close to the ground, stay imprinted. Close to the ground, and lift. Now we're going to add a crunch component. So just like we're going to do hundreds, right? We reach those arms and back down. If you need to rest your leg completely, you can. Exhale. Inhale. I'm not only working my quads and hip flexors, but I'm stretching my hamstrings. Choreography, you can point the toe on the way up, flex the foot on the way down. Point the toe on the way up, flex the foot on the way down. Do 4 more. You can also keep your toes pointed the whole time. You can also keep your foot pointed, flex the whole time. All right, I said 4 more, right? So this is the last one without rotation. Now we're gonna add rotation. So one hand behind the head, but back arm reaches for my front leg. Both shoulder blades come off the floor. One comes a little higher, probably this one, this shoulder blade. 4 more here. So we've done about 16 on this side. 3. So it's easy to keep this shoulder blade on the ground because you just rotate like this, but you want to go up and rotate. Last one, up and rotate. All right, this leg has been straight and strong the whole time, so it should be a little fatigued. Other leg, just the leg first, about 4 of these. Set and figure out your range of motion. Feel the quads, leg nice and straight. Support that kneecap by squeezing those quads. And get a little hamstring stretch. Let's add the crunch. So lifting the head, neck, and shoulders. And if you want to add feet, choreography or just variations of feet, you can point on the way up, drag the heels on the way down. I don't know why Pilates always does point on the way up and flex on the way down. Very, very common choreography though. So kind of similar to your leg circles. Your legs should be pretty fatigued by the end of this. And now we're going to add that rotation. So the opposite arm and leg come together. One hand goes and supports the head. Not yanking on the neck though. Your legs are getting fatigued as well as your abs. We have 3, last 2. And that's just the start of the ab series. Here's your normal ab series. Here, straighten. Should we give a break to the abs? Okay, I'm gonna call it. Flip over for a second. My hip flexors are tired. Okay, so when we do our spine, it does stretch the hip flexors, and we're going to actually stretch it a little bit more right now. So I'm going to have you take your feet nice and wide, turn out so it's like you want to press the arches into the mats, and I want you to bring your heels together. Yeah? I know, you're like, where are they? Once you have them together, never let them separate because it's really hard to find it again. So you're gonna squeeze on the exhale, squeeze the heels together, and then just don't squeeze on the inhale, but don't let the feet come apart. All right, you can stack the hands here. So you don't need to look at me, you can put your forehead on your hands, keep your head neck aligned with your spine. Try not to shrug your shoulders toward the ears. Exhale, to squeeze the heels. Don't do anything with your butt right now, don't do anything with your abs, nothing with your spine. Just squeeze and not squeeze. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale to not squeeze. Okay, we're going to work on our butt. You're going to feel it in your lower back. Keep your abs a little bit tight. So It sounds weird to keep your abs tight when you're laying on it, but if you do feel yourself drawing your belly up and in towards the spine, upward, it can provide some support for the lower back. Now we're going to lift the knees. Can you guys see my knees? They come up. So that means my butt is squeezing, my hips are extended. Okay? So exhale, lift, squeeze, inhale to lower. Stop squeezing the heels. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Now, how bent are your knees? Well, the thing is, if it's too straight, you're not going to really be able to lift your thighs too much and feel the hamstrings. So generally, it's like a little greater than 90 when you're not squeezing because you're kind of relaxed. And then as I lift my thighs, my knees do bend a little more, and I do somewhat of a hamstring curl. I do bend my knees a little more. Everyone's going to be a little different with this, but feel your butt, like your butt is just clenching in order to extend the hip, lift those thighs off the ground, and then you're squeezing your heels together. All right, let's not do too much because I don't want your lower back to hurt. So release and come up into your stretch. How do we do on that? Okay, good. All feedback is appreciated. Okay, so now that we've stretched our hip flexion a little bit, we can go into the ab series. We will stay in this too long. Extend the leg, high diagonal, low diagonal, your choice. Figure out what's challenging to you. Head, neck, and shoulders, you want it to be up? Great. Transfer those hands from knee to knee. Or lower the head, neck, and shoulders. Again, you should have an imprinted spine, so your abs are engaged regardless. Okay? Hands behind the head, rotate. I know, we already did all that oblique work, that variation, so I'm not going to spend too much time in this. 8, 7, 6, 5, get both shoulder blades off the floor. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're here, double leg stretch, reach. Reach a little higher. Good. Come to tabletop, reach a little higher. Let me see this note. Reach a little higher. Oh, thank you, Jilly. Okay. So remember when the legs are at a lower angle, it's more challenging to maintain the imprint. So this is a variation of double leg stretch. Option to be here and straighten and go right back down, okay? Stay with that option if you like. Exhale, inhale. Here's another option. Exhale, lower a little bit, lift a little bit, return. Okay, so we're a little bit more endurance required of the abs. So I would start a little higher because you're gonna go lower and then lift back up. If you start too low, then you might lose your imprint. Exhale, inhale, exhale, return. You can do this with your head down too. Exhale, inhale, exhale, return. Let's do 4 more. Head down, head up, your choice, any angle. Exhale, inhale, exhale, return. Still breathing? 2 more. Oh, I admit, I held my breath there. All right, that was 4. So that was your variation of a double leg stretch. Let's do scissors, which are always a nice hamstring stretch. Head up, head down, your choice. If your head is down, you won't be able to reach this high. But this is your scissor, which kind of looked like that variation we did earlier, where we just did one leg. Now both legs are off the ground and moving. For 8, 7, 6, stop touching your legs, 5, 4, try it. 3, feels different when you don't touch your legs, 2, and 1. Okay, those are hip flexors. A lot of work there. So this is another great hip flexor stretch right here. Remember, it's not about aligning your butt. If we try to align our butt in between our shoulders and knees, most likely we're hyperextended. That's not good. Shoulders, hips, knees. All right, make sure your feet are where you want them to be. Again, if it's too far out, hamstrings start to cramp up. And if it's too far in, you're not really going to feel your butt. It's kind of like you just feel a lot of pressure on your knees. Okay, so here's our hip flexor stretch. Now no more articulation. So remember when we rolled up and rolled down in the warm up? No more of that. We're going to lift the whole thing up, lift the whole thing down. Extend one leg. I'm doing the front leg. I'm going to make 3 circles in each direction, not too big. All right. Inhale at the top, exhale at the bottom. Reverse direction. Inhale at the top, exhale at the bottom. So you're always inhaling at 12 o'clock, exhaling at 6 o'clock. Inhale, exhale. This is the 4th one. So 3 in each direction. Abs tight. Let the thigh bone move in the hip socket joint. Nothing else moves, not the bent knee. Your whole body is not tilting. Good. Don't do anything yet. Keep that leg up. Push the hips up. Same thing. Inhale to the right. Exhale, sorry. Inhale at 12, exhale at 6. Inhale to the right, exhale at the bottom. Now inhale to the left, exhale at the bottom. 2 more on each side. And 1 more on each side. Good. Bend the knee. Place the butt down. Lift the other leg. Keep the butt on the ground. 6 circles total, 3 in each direction. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You might be able to make the circles when your butt's on the ground a little bigger, but still stabilizing. Like your whole body is still not moving. So you can make the circle bigger. 1 more in each direction. We're going to keep that same leg lifted. Push those hips up. Circle is probably smaller now. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more in each direction. Good. Drop your butt straight down. Good. And lower the leg. All right. No more circling. We're going to continue a couple more leg lifts. Part of the reason is it's great to work your glutes, pelvis stabilizer, but it's also a great hip flexor stretch. Option to keep the hands down here. If you want a little more challenge, hands are up. Extend the front leg. We're back to the first leg. Up and down. Up and down. So it does feel a little different when your arms are in the air versus down here, because you can press into the floor here to stabilize. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Make sure both hips are coming up, same height. Give me 2 more. And last one. Bend, straighten. For 8, other leg is up. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Four more. There's always a soft bend in my elbows, not locked straight, because that might encourage protraction. Want to have neutral in the scapula. 2 more. Okay, good. We're going to go back onto our stomach. And we're going to combine upper and lower body. So we're going to continue this little hamstring thing. You want to be turned out. So I know you probably can't really tell, but I'm kind of like in a diamond. The best way to describe it is that your arches of your foot are face down into the mat. See, this is the top of my feet, this is the arch of my foot. So that's a turnout position. And then it means your knees are a little wider than your hips, and then it kind of allows you to bring your heels together better. I don't point my toes here because it's just easier to press your heels together when your feet are flexed. Okay, here's the thing. We're going to reach back like this, and then we're going to reach forward to lift. Wait, hold on. Sorry, I said that wrong. You're gonna reach forward, chest down. This is your relax, my bad. Right down. And then chest up, reach back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, squeeze your butt, thighs off the ground, squeeze your heels. So here's the contraction. Good. Oh, relax. Inhale. You can relax thoroughly with your arms on the ground, your knees are on the ground for sure. But if you don't want a thorough relaxation, you can have your arms hovering above the mat. And then inhale, lift, squeeze the heel, thighs off the ground. Exhale, forward, inhale. If you prefer the opposite breath, do it, it's fine. Contract, inhale, exhale, relax. So I'm reaching the arms like I'm trying to touch my heels. Don't worry, you're not gonna touch your heels, and that's not the actual goal. And then allow your kind of feet to fall a little bit. I mean, it's supposed to be relaxed, but don't let the heels come apart. Last two, and last one. Okay, push yourself up. Let's definitely stretch that. Now, again, if you are feeling it intensely in the lower back, this is meant to strengthen your spine muscles. That includes your lower back muscles. But if it feels like it's too much, you don't need to lift as high. You don't have to lift the upper body and the lower body. You can lift just the upper body. You can lift just the lower body. Also, you want to just try to pull your abdominals up and in towards your spine. Because anytime your lower back hurts, sometimes it just needs more of that transverse abdominis corset stability from the front to help with the spine. Okay? All right, so we're gonna do some side stuff. Okay, so when we do this, you want to have your whole body straight. So I use the edge of my mat. Here we go. Kickstand hand. Good, today's focus is gonna be about these obliques. So if I do just the leg lift, I'm gonna feel my outer thighs. That's good. So you can flex your feet. This is gonna segue into the lift. But if you don't feel comfortable lifting the upper body and the lower body, then just do the lower body. So first this, just the top leg lift. And the reason why we don't lift higher than the hip is because if I lift higher, then it actually shows my hip this way. So if I push my hip down, away, it's stacked. Hip over hip. I don't want it to move. See this? See my hand move? That's my hip hiking. So I don't want my hip to move. Okay, and now we want both legs coming up. So you probably want your hands down here. But if you want a challenge, keep your hands off the ground. Hand down, hand off. And notice I'm not on my butt. This is me piking and I'm resting on my butt. No, you don't want to be on your butt. You want to be on just the side of your body. Whoops, that almost fell. And by fall, I mean like that. The nice thing is you're already on the ground, so you're not going to fall far. The only thing that's going to be bruised is your ego. Just kidding. All right, I make mistakes often in class. So now we're going to lift the upper body off the ground. Here. I'm pushing with my top hand. I'm actually pushing with my bottom hand. But my obliques are also working. Lift. Lift. Yeah, my head also kind of moves a little bit. Try it with just the top leg. It's like, oh, I need some air circulation for my armpits. It's a good way of thinking about it. Another thing you can do is when you're at the top, pull this hand back. It's not going to slide because of friction, but just by, you'll engage a little bit of lats. Just pull, just a little bit at the top. Lift, try to drag your hand back, it's stuck. And now finally, this is our end goal for today in our side lying series, is both legs up, toes pointed, feet flexed, your choice. Yes, feeling it. Try like this. Remember how your arm is attached to your shoulders and it just slides? Yeah, why did your hand slide towards your knees? because your torso moved and your leg lifted. It's not because your arm actually reached for the knees. So it takes a lot of concentration and balance here. I can show you the worst that can happen. You fall back like this, or you fall forward like this. But usually you can feel it's about to happen, so you're not going to fall on your face. How are we doing? Guys, it's okay to laugh. You know why? Because laughing engages your abdominal muscles. Just enhances the workout. Let's do the other side. Oh, by the way, one side is usually easier. I can never remember which is my good side until I do my bad side. I think that was my good side though. So let's see what happens here. Find a straight line. It's really critical that you're not bending like this because it just completely changes the exercise. So it's not wrong, it's just a different exercise. It's not what we're doing right now. I'm just gonna keep my foot flexed. So just the leg lift first. Remember that hip hike? You don't want this hand or the hip to move. So I'm not like pretending to move my hand. I actually have it attached to my hip and I allow my hip to move, which made my hand move. And you don't have to do that because you can always use a kickstand hand in case you feel unstable. We're all different in terms of strength on one side of the body. So don't judge yourself for being asymmetrical. All right, let's try both legs lifting. You can lift more with the bottom leg if you like, get a little more inner thigh work. But you'll tend to start to feel more on the obliques now. If you happen to have a shorter torso and really long legs, this will be particularly hard for you. And that's the thing about Pilates, is sometimes it's your physical features, right? Torso length versus leg length, all that stuff will affect how challenging Pilates can be. All right, keep the legs down and just the upper body. And again, I'm kind of trying to pull as I push into the floor, I'm also kind of pulling my arm back. Not with intent to move it, but just to kind of create that isometric contraction. Isometric means like plank, like you're contracting everything, but there's no movement. Iso means same, so same length. Muscles can be contracted even though they're not shortening or lengthening. Okay, if you want to try the upper body lift without the hand, you can put it here, I guess. Put it here. So this is a good thing to try because if you're really struggling here, like with balance, then the odds are you probably don't want your hand up when you lift your legs. So let's try it with the leg lift, one leg lift. One leg. You're also feeling your arms. There's a lot going on here. It's not just obliques, it's not just the outer thighs, it's not just the arms. Oh, see what I'm forgetting? I keep forgetting to keep my foot flexed. I'm trying to remind myself to have active feet, active toes pointed, active feet flexed, because that helps ultimately engage the muscles in my legs. And the tighter your whole body is, the better. So keep reaching that heel out. Okay, I think it's time to lift both legs and the torso. Press into the hands as much as you need to, definitely the bottom one. If you think this is hard, there's actually a variation where you go like this and you lift the bottom arm like that. We're not doing that today. But in case you thought, wow, this is so hard, well, there's actually another harder version. So now let's try the hands sliding down. Oops, I forgot to lift my legs. There we go. Do this slowly. I guess if you think about trying to speed it up, you're off the ground for a shorter amount of time. But then it also kind of makes it so you can't really adjust. So I do feel a little wobbly, but because I'm moving so slowly, I can really squeeze my abs and feel what's happening and adjust and be better stabilized. All right, last one. Yeah, you should really feel it in your shoulders. Hopefully that didn't fatigue my shoulders too much. If it did, then keep the torso down, all right? We built this whole thing in stages. And so like just one leg, head down, all that stuff. So you can always do any of those variations and not do every single thing that I just did, which is a whole lifting. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of kneeing here. So I'm not doing planks today. This is the plank. What's a plank? Shoulders, hips, knees in a straight line. Creating challenge so that your abs have to work to maintain this neutral position. I just put a little extra padding under my knees. Roll up your towel if you need. So reach your arms to the side. And then it's like you want to hug someone, but then you're like, wow, I don't know if they've showered. So you do this very like, oh, leaning back hug. Just kidding. The reason why you want to reach your arms forward is because your abs have to do a lot of work to maintain this. Having your arms not as extra weights will help. So it's here, and then you can open. Or you can keep it here, and then keep it forward as you come back up. Let's point the toes. You don't want to tuck your toes under. It just makes you rely on your toes a lot. Like you just kind of put weight into your toes, and you're not going to feel as much in your abs or butts. Now things we're trying to avoid, arching. So this is not camel where we stretch. That is a really good stretch, but that's not what we're focused on right now. And then you don't want to drop your butt back. If you do that, you're not going to feel your abs at all. And then if this makes it easier, what do you think will make it harder? Do you want to try it? Do you remember the beginning where I just did this? Move one arm out? Yep. I didn't rotate. I just moved one arm to the side, one arm stayed forward. Yeah, let's try that again. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Both arms? Shall we? Oh, that's a lot. Two more times. You can either do right arm, left arm. Two more, both arms opening up. Or feel free to keep both arms forward the whole time. Okay. You're not only feeling your abs and glutes, but you're also feeling it in your quads. All right. So I'm also not going to do teasers today. I know. By the way, anyone taking this class for the first time, slightly different class today, only because I want to do some more variety of stuff for some of my regulars, but it doesn't mean it's not part of the Pilates repertoire. Okay, so we're going to do some push-ups. We have 2 minutes left. Push-ups and then a little stretch, but I usually don't do a stretch in Pilates because ideally the principles of Pilates is that you're stretching and strengthening all at the same time, right? We're stretching our abs, we work our spine, so on and so forth. Here's the push-up part. My hands are wide, my elbows are coming to about 90 degrees. We're all gonna be on our knees, okay? You don't know what we're doing yet, so you probably want to be on your knees. So notice that I'm trying to aim for a straight line from shoulders to hips to knees. This is not shoulders, hips, knees alignment. Neither is this, okay? So do your best. Find that same position we were just in when we did that vertical knee hinge. Now we're gonna go down. Hands are wider than the mats, wider than the shoulders, to about 90 degrees. If I went all the way down, my whole body would go down, right? Because it's straight. Just do one more push-up for practice. About halfway down and straight. Now here's the challenge. Tuck the toes under, squeeze the quads, pop into your full plank. Back down. Pop into your full plank. Back down. One more time. Good. Now, we're going to go into our push-up on your knees, pop into the plank. Just one of each. Down, up, squeeze quads, squeeze butt, plank. Knees down without disturbing that neutral spine. Down, up, plank. Now, go down, hold the down. Don't go too low, right here. Pop up into a plank. Boom, knees. Elbows are still bent. Get back onto your knees, push up. We'll only do that 2 more times. And if you want to do the previous version, do a push up, be in a straight arm plank, and lift off your knees. This is the more challenging variation. We're going to go down into the bent elbow, push up, the lowest points, hold, pop off the knees, straight, bend into the knees, and push up. 1 more time. Lower, keep breathing, keep alternating your breath. Exhale, squeeze those knees straight. Up, bend, inhale, exhale. Shake it out. You good? Okay, we're done. I know you're good on your wrist. If it doesn't bother your wrist, do some cat-cows here. You can do that. We were trying to be in neutral for much of today's class. It's always good to take your spine through its full range of motion. And we are a little past time, but if you want to join me for a little bit of a stretch, we'll just do our typical hamstring stretch, because hamstrings are one of the tightest things on our bodies and tends to limit our ability to move our spine, especially our lower back, because of hamstring tightness. Reach across, get that rotation, and reach down to grab whatever you can, whether it's your ankle, your foot, your toes, whatever you grab, just bend those elbows a little bit. I don't have my AC on as usual because I kind of like the heat in my place for Pilates. Tends to make my muscles a little more flexible. Try the other side. But if you feel overheated, you always have the option to put a fan on, drink some water, put on the AC. Winter's coming. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Find a nice, good posture, and remind yourself that as you're typing, working, eating, doing anything, any activities in your daily living, activities of daily living, that you are trying to do so with your posture in mind.